Hello and welcome to Visa News. I'm Jawad Hami. In today's program, two important developments of our discussion. The first relates to Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif's visit to Malaysia, and also in the second segment, we are going to talk about a Bloomberg report which tells that Pakistan's economy is showing positive signs, which has been welcomed by Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. Regarding the first segment, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif is undertaking two-day official visit to Malaysia on the invitation of Malaysian Prime Minister Mr. Anwar Ibrahim from 5th to 7th of October 2025, and as per the statement by the Foreign Office, this visit underscores Pakistan's continued commitment to strengthening ties with Malaysia. It also reaffirms the importance both countries place on working together to promote peace, stability, trade and investment, and sustainable development. Now, a number of issues have also been discussed between the two sides. There's been a joint statement which talks about strengthening the bilateral relationship, economic cooperation, the cooperation in halal industry, defense collaboration, education and training, tourism and connectivity, health and pharmaceuticals, international cooperation, Palestinian statehood, Afghanistan, Islamophobia, and ASEAN chairmanship of Pakistan's support of Malaysia's chairmanship of ASEAN. A number of MOUs are also expected during this particular visit. Let me quickly bring in as to understand what has been the hallmark of this particular bilateral relationship between the two countries, what is expected in future. In the studio, we are honored to be joined by Mr. Khalid Taimur Akram, his international relations expert. Mr. Akram, thank you very much for your time for being with us on the show tonight. Really appreciate that. Also on the video link, Mr. Raza Bashir Tarar. He's the former ambassador. Mr. Tarar, thank you very much for your time also for being with us on the show tonight. Really appreciate that. Mr. Akram, going a little back in history, how do you think this particular relationship has evolved over the number of years? What has been the bedrock of this particular bilateral relationship? In what major areas the cooperation had been carried out between the two countries?
Yeah, Pakistan and Malaysia, we established our diplomatic relations back in 1957. And ever since then, Malaysia has been one of the largest exporters of palm oil to Pakistan and agriculture products to Pakistan. And Pakistan and Malaysia have always been very, very close. Of course, Malaysia is a Muslim country and large population has a very good relationship with Pakistan. Malaysia is one of those countries where our international airline PIA had been flying for over 30 years continuously. I had been traveling a lot to Malaysia by PIA, and it's just 6 hours from here to Kuala Lumpur. This relationship saw a strategic partnership back in on 22nd March 2019. The strategic partnership agreement was signed, and we have seen that in last couple of months Malaysia and Pakistan have been very closely working on number of platforms, whether it be situation in Gaza, whether it be OIC, whether it be the other issues. The stance of the Malaysian government and the Pakistan government had been very, very firm on all these issues. And this visit of the Prime Minister is at a very, very important time. One, because Pakistan already has very good relationship with all the ASEAN countries. Two, the number of agreements and MOUs signed during this visit are very important in terms of our foreign trade and the trade boom which we are going to get from the ASEAN countries. Malaysia is also part of Belt and Road, China's Belt and Road Initiative program, and since Pakistan has a major artery of CPEC with us, so I'm sure that during the CPEC 2.0 we will be doing more trade with ASEAN countries and of course with Malaysia also.
Right. Mr. Tarar, what's your understanding when you talk about this particular bilateral relationship over the number of years? Now, as per the joint statement during this particular visit by Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, both have reaffirmed and underscored their commitment to building a dynamic and resilient partnership. What had been the hallmark or the cornerstone of this particular bilateral relationship in the past since the diplomatic ties between the two were established, and where do we look where this particular bilateral relationship is headed in the future in terms of consolidating it further?
Well, sir, the bilateral relationship between Malaysia and Pakistan, as already pointed out, is in a good state. And actually, when you have the highest leadership level contact, it gives a much needed fillip to the relationship, and basically kind of reaffirmation of the importance that the two sides attach to each other. So in that regard, I think Prime Minister's visit comes at a very opportune time. It basically shows, and when you look at the range of issues that were discussed and the areas of cooperation that have been pointed out, and in which both sides have pledged to accelerate efforts. So I think it's needed, but definitely a follow up and by the bureaucracy and all the line ministries is important. I'm quite optimistic that this will further the relationship that we have with the great country of Malaysia, and will add substance. Thank you.
Mr. Tarar, as far as the economic relationship between countries is concerned, when we try to understand as to what Pakistan's exports to Malaysia over the years have been, and what Pakistan's imports from Malaysia have been, when specifically talking about the year 2024, Pakistan exports to Malaysia stand at $550 million US, and Pakistan imports stand at $960 million. So looking at this particular difference between Pakistan's exports and imports with Malaysia, what sort of areas do you identify this particular deficit as for Pakistan could be overcome?
Well, sir, certainly the press release that we have seen mentions areas like, for instance, halal beet tends to stand out, and there has been some increase in quota that has been agreed upon. Pakistan is already exporting a lot of rice. But at the same time, I think, having served in Japan and having some insight into the labor requirements that countries have, I'm sure Malaysia also is in need of trained manpower. It does not have a very large population. Pakistan has the advantage of a well-trained, youth population. That can be an area of cooperation. We can also go into, joint research and development, and explore different. Another thing that may not be readily visible could also be like relocation of industries. Malaysia has a very strong business backbone. And Pakistan is in a position to basically, provide trained manpower, also other facilities. So relocation of businesses can be done. We can cooperate in many areas, higher education, for example. So I think the more we sort of pay attention to it, and the more hard we work. But in that, I want to strike a note of caution. We tend to be, and of course, nothing wrong with that, but we tend to have a clear bias when it comes to preferences. So, like for example, if we have an arrangement with the US or Europe, and naturally they are very large trading partners that we that are there. But at the same time, we should not lose.
I'll come back to you. Let me proceed once again to Mr. Khalid Taimur Akram. Mr. Akram, identifying those areas where future cooperation between the two countries in terms of enhancement of trade between the two could be done.
Yes, sir. Trade is already happening between Pakistan and Malaysia, and Pakistan has, in the last couple of years, Pakistan has been one of the largest importers from Malaysia, and soybean oil and other forms of the cooking oils. Malaysia is also very rich in fruits and vegetables also. And I'm sure that during this visit, Prime Minister must have talked with the Malaysian counterpart about exploring the joint avenues on the agriculture cooperation also, because Malaysia in last couple of years have done a lot of research and they have produced a lot of new varieties of seeds of fruits and vegetables, the organic for the organic farming. And I'm sure that Prime Minister must have talked about it. In addition to that, Malaysia has a very good industry of automobiles. They have a very good industry of IT. They have a very good industry of the medical equipment. Although Pakistan is making a lot of surgical equipment in Sialkot and other areas, but the medical equipment is also made in Malaysia, which is made in Malaysia, is also very, very good. So these are the areas where Pakistan and Malaysia can cooperate. Also, Pakistan film industry had been going to Malaysia for picturization of various movies, and they used to go there, but lately that has been stopped. So I'm sure that the media industry would also collaborate, and the Malaysian areas will be open for our joint collaborations.
Mr. Akram, you were already alluding to the fact regarding the strategic partnering or something like that back in 2019. When we specifically talk about Malaysia-Pakistan closer economic partnership agreement that was since 2008, which provides preferential market access to the goods and services. How significant this particular agreement between the two sides has been over the years? In what sectors it has basically contributed, and what about that you were already referring to?
Yes, actually, once this agreement was signed in 2008, after that we have seen that Malaysia has preferred Pakistan for its trade. Like as I had already given you the example of olive oil and sunflower oil, which is coming from Malaysia. Right now, almost more than 30% of Pakistan's cooking oil needs are catered from Malaysia. It's because of it's the result of that agreement which was signed years back. And in addition to that, Pakistan is also getting a lot of pulses from Malaysia, because as I said, Malaysia is not only agriculture country, but Malaysia has done a lot of work in agriculture enhancement. And since Malaysia is a tropical country, so they have many agriculture products which are grown over there all along the year. And in addition to that, now Malaysia has also become a hub of the IT technology. And I'm sure that Pakistan freelancer community and Pakistani IT community will be having a lot of collaboration with the Malaysian IT companies, because right now a majority of the major brands, the US brands or the European brands, they have their assembly lines in Malaysia, they have their production lines in Malaysia. So like China, Malaysia has also become a hub of international products which are being now produced in Malaysia.
Right, Mr. Tarar, as per the joint statement, both the sides have also strongly condemned the ongoing genocide in Gaza and reiteration of their support for the Palestinians' right to self-determination. How in future both the countries can collaborate in order to impress upon the world community when it comes to stopping this genocide firstly, and secondly when it comes to Palestinians exercising their right to self-determination as per the United Nations Security Council resolutions, as well as their own aspirations, and reaching to that particular two-state solution at the end of the day?
Thank you, Tamisab. Very important question. You see, both Pakistan and Malaysia have a very strong presence in multilateral forums. Right now, Pakistan also is, a non-permanent member of the Security Council, and has played a very leading role in highlighting these issues. So I think collaboration with Malaysia is extremely important and can add a lot of value to the joint efforts of the Muslim Ummah to basically, obviously, stop the atrocities that are going on, to find a workable solution, and to work towards the goal of basically pacifying the region and bringing relief, in the short term, relief to the Palestinians, but also without prejudice to their inalienable rights. So I think it's a very important collaboration. I've had, the privilege of working closely with Malaysian delegations in different, forums and also in different countries. And I can assure you, they are extremely, serious people, very well prepared, and you know, co- cooperating with them would definitely redound to the benefit of, you know, our bilateral relationship as well as our efforts at the multilateral front.
Right, regarding Afghanistan, it has also been agreed upon the importance of the continued engagement with the interim Afghan authorities, especially when it comes to combating terrorism and promoting the inclusive governance over there. Both of these, the first that relates to the external side when it comes to Afghanistan being safe haven for the terrorist groups and militant organizations, and the threat of terrorism emanating from there. The other one, that inclusive government, when it comes to that, it pertains directly to the internal issues. And there was an international obligation as per the Doha Accord from the Afghan Taliban that they had to go taking all the stakeholders into confidence and form an inclusive government. What could Malaysia do in particular to this particular issue when it comes to Pakistan's concerns as well as alleviating the sufferings of the Afghan people there?
Well, Tamir Sahab, Malaysia is like Turkey. Malaysia is a good example for Islamic countries. It has shown that while not compromising on your heritage and your religious ethos, you can progress and you can move forward in a lot of areas. So I personally think that when they interact, not that they've not been doing it already, but when they interact with the Afghan authorities, the comfort level of the Afghans would be much greater than I would say Westerners coming and lecturing them and trying to extract concessions from them for which they are not basically ready. And obviously, Pakistan has always, done a lot of positive engagement with the Afghans. So I think together, Pakistan and Malaysia can collaborate with the Afghans and basically help them in many areas. Women's education, for example, and to show them that in both countries, both Islamic countries, women are receiving very good quality education. They
Right,
are
get your point, Mr. Raza Bashir. Tarar. Let me proceed once again towards Mr. Khalid Taimur Akram. Mr. Khalid Taimur Akram, defense collaboration, how this particular area of cooperation had been over the years, and what is the potential, especially given the fact that Pakistan being recognized now the world over regarding the security provider and stabilizer in the region as well?
Yes, the defense cooperation between Pakistan and Malaysia has been there since long. The Malaysian cadets had been coming for training to our military academy also, and also Malaysia had been buying a lot of Pakistani military products. It's even before the present role which Pakistan has just got into as a security provider, not only for the region but also for the greater Muslim Ummah. Malaysia had been keenly watching the performance of JF-17 aircrafts since last number of years, and Pakistan is already in talks with Malaysia for selling these aircrafts to Malaysia. We already have a very good cooperation with the Malaysian naval forces. We already have a very good cooperation with the Air Force and the military. Malaysia has been one of the buyers of Pakistan's military products, which we produce in heavy mechanical complex in Texla and POFWA. And Malaysia has always been participating in the defense exhibition, which is yearly held in Karachi. So the defense cooperation between Pakistan and Malaysia, I would term it as not at the moderate level but above moderate level. And yes, with the new role which Pakistan is now getting into as the security provider, not only for the Arab lands but for the rest of the world also. So I would, of course, the Malaysian Air Force would be very keen to learn about the May 8th and May 9th experience of Pakistan Air Force, as the other countries are.
Regarding both the countries back in 2024 agreeing to renegotiate and modernize the bilateral free trade framework to reflect emerging opportunities in digital and sustainable sector. You already mentioned this particular aspect. Could you shed a little bit more light regarding
Yes,
that?
actually, I always see Malaysia as our gateway to ASEAN countries, because if you see the map of the ASEAN countries, so Malaysia is just as on the gateway as we are on the gateway to the Central Asia. So Malaysia occupies the same position in the ASEAN countries. So for Pakistan's trade with Philippines, with Indonesia, with other countries, Malaysia plays a very pivotal role as a transit country also, and as a country where we can use their ports, we can go, we can take our products to their ports, and from there the products can go to the other ASEAN countries. Malaysia has always been a very, very strong advocate of the Pakistani trade in the ASEAN countries, and with this visit of the Prime Minister to Malaysia, I would say that our trade partnership with ASEAN countries will increase.
Right, Mr. Tarar, one last question from you. When it comes to Malaysia's membership of the ASEAN, what does Pakistan's strong support to Malaysia in this particular regard signify?
Basically, this signifies the importance that Pakistan attaches to ASEAN as a whole, and obviously to Malaysia in particular. And we have to basically understand that when we look at ASEAN, SAARC has no comparison with ASEAN. It's a model organization. It's a model of cooperation, even resolution of disputes, and ironing out differences between member countries. ASEAN takes a united stand on issues. It tends to reject, outside meddling when it comes to, cornering certain members. Myanmar is an example. So it's a very fine organization. And within the ambit of ASEAN, a lot of, areas of cooperation are there. And ASEAN has, earned a lot of respect. For example, you have, mechanisms that ASEAN has with Japan and with China and so many countries for, for a regular dialogue. So I think it's a great, approach. Obviously, we have always, been assigning importance. But I think we need to basically step it up, and there's a lot that we can learn from ASEAN.
Mr. Raza, Bashir, Tarar, former ambassador, joining us on the video link. Thank you very much for being with us on Views on News tonight. Really appreciate that. That brings the end of the first segment, and after a short break, I will be going to the second segment, discussing as to what is the overall situation of Pakistan's economy, especially in the light of the recently released report by Bloomberg, which has been welcomed by Prime Minister. For that, stay tuned. Welcome back to Views on News. In this particular segment, we are going to talk about that particular report by Bloomberg, which shows that Pakistan's economy has positive signs to show, and Prime Minister Shehbaz has welcomed this particular report by Bloomberg. He has mentioned that according to the report, the probability of default has decreased significantly by 2,200 basis points. He said this sharp drop reflects a growing confidence among global investors in the country's economy. He said Pakistan currently stands second only to Turkey amongst emerging economies in global rankings, emphasizing that this good news for our country. He noted Bloomberg's report marks a significant milestone for us and is a reflection of our journey towards the progress. He said the promise of Pakistan's development appears to be coming true with the tireless efforts of the government and the cooperation of the both Pakistani and international business communities. He said this journey of progress will not stop now. We'll be joined through the video link by Dr. Vaqar Ahmed, he's a senior economist, and also in the studio we're honored to be joined by Mr. Khalid Taimur Akram. He's expert international relations, has a great insight as to the economic affairs of the country as well. Mr. Akram, how do you look, how significant this particular report is when it talks about how Pakistan averted that very imminent default, and that Pakistan is one of those countries that is having the economy that is rapidly growing?
Yeah, the report is very important, and I would say a bit late. Because since last 2 years, Pakistan has been continuously showing the signs of progress, not only in the economic field also, but also in the diplomatic field. And we have seen the Pakistan Stock Exchange going to new heights. We have seen how the investors' confidence is building up in Pakistan, and how foreign investment is coming to Pakistan, not only the Chinese investment, but the investment from US and from other Western countries coming to Pakistan. We have seen that how the foreign direct investors' confidence not only being built on the present governance system, but also on the present economic model. And also we have been seeing that how the international community is looking towards Pakistan with a very, very positive note. Previously, we used to only look towards the GCC countries or China for the investments, but now the complete world is looking towards Pakistan. We have already entered in CPEC 2.0. The Chinese foreign direct investment has already started coming in to Pakistan. We have seen recently the American investment coming to Pakistan in terms of a lot of mines and mineral deals and other deals regarding the offshore oil drillings and other things also. We have seen many European companies showing their interest in Pakistan. We have seen many new Japanese companies coming to Pakistan. So overall, I would say it is due to the political stability, it is due to the good economic policies of the government, and we must give credit to the Prime Minister and his team, because they have, once they took over the government, Pakistan was at the verge of default. But now, just in last 2 years and 24 months, Pakistan has not only gained in the economic field, but as the Bloomberg report says, that in the world, in the emerging economy, Pakistan is now as high as Turkey is. So I think this is a very great achievement, and we must congratulate the economic team headed by Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and their tireless efforts.
Right. Dr. Vaqar Ahmed, when Pakistan has recorded one of the sharpest declines in default risks globally, emerging as the only country to show consistent improvement over the past 15 months, that has been said by advisor to Finance Minister Shehbaz'S. What sort of sense do you make out of this particular thing, and how significant this particular aspect is?
Thank you very much. I think this is a significant achievement given the kind of emergency situation the economy found itself a couple of years back, and it has taken quite a number of months to really steer the economy from that point where default was imminent to a point where, of course, international agencies, including Bloomberg, are now stating that the probability of any such instance has reduced. So I think it's a very worthwhile news. And herein lies a very narrow window of opportunity for the economic managers to really continue on this path and really drive some sustainable economic growth on the back of decent structural reforms which have already been agreed with the IMF.
Right, Dr. Vaqar, when Prime Minister says that Pakistan currently stands second only to Turkey amongst emerging economies in the global rankings, at the same time emphasizing that this is a good news for our country, I just want you to give us understanding when it comes to Pakistan standing second only to Turkey amongst emerging economies. What do we understand from this?
Well, I think both economies have faced a lot of difficulty in the past. Turkey has been trying a lot to manage its difficulties, likewise Pakistan. And I think that's why they're called emerging market economies, because they are passing through a phase through which, and after, of course, complying with some disciplined structural reforms, they can achieve a frontier which takes them beyond emerging markets. But having said this, of course, Pakistan is trailing very closely to the likes of Turkey. We are trying to follow in the footsteps of other emerging market economies who have done well in recent past under some very critical challenges which the global economy faces, including global trade and tariffs uncertainty.
Right, Dr. Vaqar, when we specifically talk about Pakistan's IT sector, its export has shown resilience at the beginning of fiscal year 26, with exports in July and August 2025 standing at reaching $692 million, which is 18% increase year on year. Now, this significant increase, what does it mean to us, and what is the potential in this particular sector in the days to come?
Yes, I think there's a lot of potential given that Pakistan's currency is very competitive. Pakistan's labor market presents lower wages and salaries, which should be attractive for foreign investors who want to procure our IT services. Having said this, of course, the next big cycle of growth in IT or in any other sector would only come on the back of very robust regulatory improvements. So if you look at the IT sector, which is at a stage where it can scale up really big, they really want a deeper public-private dialogue so that their issues related to the movement of capital, procurement of servers, advanced equipments, those kinds of import restrictions could be removed. They also want to attract highly skilled services from abroad, which require a foreign exchange. They want those controls lifted. So one would really like the government to listen very closely to what the IT sector is saying, because they are delivering for this economy.
Right, Dr. Vaqar, please stay with us. Mr. Khalid, Taimur, Akram, this IT sector, the potential of it, and the kind of projections and the number of stats we've got until now, how do you see the resilience of this particular sector, and what is the potential ahead?
Yes, the IT sector has done considerably well in last couple of years, and especially Pakistan has a very large number of freelancer community which is contributing towards software development in most of the Western countries. So I feel that in times to come, Pakistan's IT sector, Pakistan's AI sector would contribute a lot in the Western countries because of three reasons. Number one, we offer these services at a very, very competitive rates than what is being offered within the Europe or within USA. Number two, the kind of education level in IT which we have is very, very significant. And third is the English language, because you know we live in a region where English language is very, very rare, because in China and Central Asia and these parts of this world, English is probably second or third or fourth language. But since we have English as almost our first language, so most of our youth is trained in English language, and they understand them, the Western requirements, and they are ready to build those kinds of software in English language which are required by them. So right now I feel that whether it's Microsoft or Google or any other big IT house in US or anywhere in the world, they are looking towards the Pakistan freelance market.
Right, Dr. Vaqar Ahmed, when it comes to the increase in remittances, the finance minister reported that $38 billion have been recorded in last year, which is projected to be around 41 to 43 billion US dollar in the current fiscal year. What factors have driven this particular increase in the remittances?
Yes, I think amongst the two key factors, one, of course, is the stability of our own currency. You have seen expats shying away when the currency is volatile, but this time around it has held its value. In fact, it has strengthened for some instances during this part of the year against dollar and other major currencies. The other factor that I see is that finally there are some sectors which are opening up for micro level savings to be absorbed. So you have seen some growth, some inflows going into real estate. You have seen capital being directed towards the stock market. I'm talking about a micro, median level saver here. And therein, of course, people who are remitting from abroad can see some prospects of their savings not just being preserved, but also being multiplied in this economy.
Right. What else is required at this particular point in time to make this journey happen, and for a longer span of time, as Prime Minister says that this journey of progress will not stop now?
Yes. So I think we need to go back to the analysis which recently the Asian Development Bank has presented on Pakistan. I think it's a very balanced analysis. Like Bloomberg, ADB feels that the economy has stabilized. But as most of us know, it is the debt inflows, it's the renewed prospects of borrowing or borrowing at sort of ease that has allowed the economy to stabilize itself. Now, that cannot be a sustainable model. You cannot drive sustained growth on borrowed money. So there are structural reforms which are required, which the ADB report discusses. IMF has also been discussing in its review meeting. They, of course, include continued fiscal consolidation, a large amount of effort which is required on the energy side, a focused effort to bring growth, which is not reliant on just 2 or 3 sectors, but broad-based growth across the economy. As you were rightly saying, that while IT presents a lot of prospects, we need to give chance to other sectors as well. We need to see how they can flourish as well, how they can become part of value chains abroad. Now, the jury is out whether we have been able to revive our investor confidence fully. My own view would be we need to work much more on this. You have recently seen Procter & Gamble, P&G, close down its operations or hand over their stakes in Pakistan. That's not good news for business sentiments. We need to look deeper into the reasons for this.
Dr. Vaqar Ahmed, senior economist, joining us through the video link. Thank you very much for being with us on the show tonight. Mr. Khalid, Taimur, Akram, international relations expert, thank you very much for your time also for being with us on the show tonight. Really appreciate that. With that, we'll come to the end of today's episode. Till the next one, take good care of yourselves.